In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about Floki, which is an Elixir tool that helps you parse HTML documents, which can be extremely helpful as you try to build out tests against your controllers. So here's a quick example of a typical usage of Floki. So say you have an HTML document here, and then you want to kind of verify the state of the HTML. You basically will pass the HTML to Floki, and you will parse that document. It will parse successfully, and then you can use Floki to find elements within the document. So you can search by CSS selectors, or you can look for specific IDs. Then you can kind of verify what the results are. To show why this is so helpful, let me bring up our Get Shorty application and show you some of the tests we've got going on in there. So here is the Get Shorty form. We've got an input that basically will capture the long link that wants to be shortened. And then we've got a button to actually create the short link itself. Now, going into the code, one way you would start to test this with like a traditional, like out-of-the-box Phoenix toolkit is basically to get the connection and then use assert HTML response. You want to verify that it's a 200 and then that it can match some text in here. And so you can run this test and it'll in fact actually pass. But if it fails, so let's actually make this fail by replacing the test. So when it fails, the failure is rather loud in that it will show you the entirety of the HTML document and basically say that like I could not use regular expressions to kind of match the text within here. And as your application gets more complex, this is not as helpful as an error as you would like. So one way to get around this is to actually use Floki. So let me delete this and uncomment our Floki implementation. And so now we're basically going to, we're still going to use the get connection and get it. We're going to grab the HTML response, and then we're going to parse the document. And then once we have the document parsed, then we can use Floki to find elements. So we can specifically look for an element that has an ID of short link, long link, and then we can look for assert find for the button type of submit, and then we can grab the text within that button, and we can validate that it's a short link. And so if this fails, we actually get a much more descriptive error about what actually happened. And so Floki is extremely helpful to validate your connections and your controllers, to validate that they are generating HTML that you expect. Check it out.